In this next video, we're going to take a look at nets. Okay, so a net is a diagram of the surfaces of a three-dimensional figure. Okay, and these can be folded to form that three-dimensional figure. All right, now this next part's going to be really important. Okay, because some of us might struggle with this more than others. Okay, but to identify a three-dimensional figure from a net, okay, we first want to look at the number of faces. Okay. And also, we want to look at the shape of each face. Okay, so let's take a look at a few different nets, and let's see if we can classify a three-dimensional shape that it could be folded into. Okay, so let's look at this first one. So it says describe the three-dimensional figure that can be made from the given net. Okay, so to me, let's do this first. Okay, let's look at the number of faces. Okay, so let's look. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So there are 6 actual faces here, okay? So I'll say 6 faces, okay? And now, again, we want to sort of look at what shape are all of these faces, all right? Well, to me, in this picture, these all look like they're actually square faces, okay? If I were to even outline, one of these, especially like this base here, okay? These all look like they're really the same shape, right? And they all look like they're squares, right? So let's just say square faces. Okay. Now, what also helps me is to just sort of imagine, what this would look like if we actually folded on all of these like dotted lines here. Okay. And so what would happen if we folded this up? Okay, well, what would actually happen if we folded this up is this 3 would actually act as the base, right? Sides 1, 2, 4, and 6 would actually fold up, and they would just become kind of like vertical. And actually, this would be the top, right? Or this would be like opposite of that other base, as 5 would be, right? So this is actually just going to be a cube, right? This particular example, right? It's got 6 faces, they're all square faces, okay? And that's actually just going to fold up into a cube, all right? Let's look at a couple more. Okay, it says describe the three-dimensional figure that can be made from a given net, okay? Well, we have like a kind of a circle and a semicircle here, right? So we have one circle, okay, and part 2, this is just kind of we'll call it a semicircle or a half circle. And we have to look at, okay, what could actually happen, or what could we actually form from this, okay? Well, if 1 acted as our base, okay, we could actually fold up part 2 and wrap it around the base of 1, and it would actually form at a point right here, okay, if we were to do this, right? So this is actually going to form a cone, okay? Right? So let's just say something like semicircle could fold up and wrap around, I'm going to call it circle 1, and meet at, I'll call this vertex V. Okay, so again, in this particular case, this would be a cone, right? And some of these will just take a little bit more practice than others, but let's take a look at a couple more. Okay, we have on this one, let's go ahead and just like count the number of faces. So this could be 1, 2, 3, those are 4 faces here. Okay, it looks like we want to just imagine what would actually happen if we folded all of these little pieces along the dotted line here. Okay, well, 2, 3, and 4, if they folded up, they would actually end up meeting at a point, okay? So we have like the base here would be 1, and then 2, 3, and 4 would actually all meet in this same spot here, okay? So this is actually just going to be a triangular pyramid. Okay? Again, we kind of look like, let's just say something that says describe the three-dimensional figure. So maybe I could say 4 faces that are all triangles, right? Well, remember, part of what a pyramid was is it said it had triangular faces that would meet at a vertex, and that's what would actually happen in this particular case. Okay. Okay, now let's look at this very last figure here. Okay, it looks like I've got like maybe two circles here. I'll call them circle 1 and circle 2. And then we have like this, like a rectangle, it looks like. Okay, and so if we take a look at what could actually happen here, if we fold it along these edges where they're actually connected, it looks like I could sort of wrap rectangle 3 around circle 2, and then 1 could actually go right on top here, right? So it'd actually be two circular bases that are opposite of each other, and they have like this curved surface that connects those bases. So to me, this is going to be a cylinder. Okay, so again, we're only going to get better at practice with these. You know, in class we may, if we have time, kind of, you know, cut out these nets and see kind of what type of figures that they actually fold into. I think that's something that would be fun if time permits.